What's going on, guys? Kai Gear. Going to do Mechanician PvP cheat sheet for PvP, as I said, and PvE. Let's jump right into it.
반드시 돌아오게 하겠어.
더 이상 하수인만으로 남지 않아. 이제부턴 나를 위하여 오로지 나만 깨어있을 뿐.
멈춰.
모두들
절대.
후회? 하, 네가 누구랑 얘기하는 줄은 아는 거야?
Alright, guys, as a reminder, the point of these cheat sheets is so you have an easy way to jump in the class, and I only show elemental fairies. I do not show holy, even if they end up being the best in some situations, generally PvP. But I like to do elementals because more people are able to do that. So what we're looking at right here, we'll start at the top left and work our way down and around like a U shape. So we have the skills. Machinery creation, this is the spiders is what it's known as. Put them down, they reduce movement speed and attack. Now this can also be a downside if they have gladiators on their team, because they can use the mechs as a healing fodder, and in that case you would want to swap to more of an armor style that we'll see tomorrow, hopefully. Blood restraint, probably one of your two best skills. HP recovery and defense increase, so it increases your defense, and then all damage you deal within that circle, it now heals you. Then we have blazing fire. This is the cannon. You put it down, it gets increased stats based on your stats, specifically your defense. So blood restraint before putting down blazing fire, very powerful. And then your fourth skill is a hard toss-up. So blasting sparkle is what I like to always go with after you cap on preparation, which is an armor substat. Then it does anti-heal on your opponent as well as a movement speed on you. But this is a armor skill itself, so it's able to stack on its own. It has a very low cooldown, so you can get full preparation by itself. Energy blast is a cone knockback. So if you're I suggest always going with blasting sparkle, and if your opponent has gladiator, or there's multiple gladiators and top league or such, then I would swap the mech creation for energy blast to have an extra knockback. Subclasses that go with it: priest, dragon fighter, and wind chaser. All of them are complementing mech as the main class. So if mech wants to do most of the things, priest is going to buff any class. Wind chaser has that tap and go strategy, and dragon fighter has extra maneuverability as well as the dragon roar to get out of CC. Most wanted stats: PvP increase, and break. Synergy pets, you're generally going to go cat in most situations, but if you're not high enough, if you're not, I believe this is level 3 on the forest, then capybara is also pretty good on one-on-ones, especially if you time capybara's stun with having mech creation and blazing fire at the same time. They'll be stuck in place to take a bunch of extra attacks. Down here, slaughter, really good from taking them from 60% to 0. You also have the option of doing fierce attack, which is really good at taking them from 100 to 60. Rigidity, you play a very touch and go strategy. You come in, do your cooldowns, and run away, and that goes really well with rigidity. You'll be going in and out in your rigidity windows, which also lines up with a slaughter window, so you can be proccing everything every time you start a fight. And so that's why it's not God Bless. Super Strength goes HP to attack, but your summons scale off of your attack. So even though this would be pretty good with water, let's say, we don't really need a huge boost because it's being applied not just to ourselves, but to our Mech Creation and our Blazing Fire. The treasures right here, the clock is very particular about their about these abilities right here. The Blood Restraint and the Creation. This is just based on element. This could technically go on any of them. I just wanted to mention it at some point in my treasures. And Hourglass, if you do any treasure based on cooldown, then you always want to have Hourglass. Crystals, Block, Tenacity, you always want to have those for defensively. And because we're doing Break down here, we have the Break Crystal. We have the Wind Fairies. Really good combo with Ainz and Camellia SP. You can do it either direction, either tornadoes into the laser or laser into tornado, because the laser cuts all their turns off their dodge and stuff like that. So both of them are able to hit very well. Almond Blossom is able to do the passive ignore CC and give you attack buff, which goes into what we talked about before with Mech Creation and Blazing Fire. And Tranquil Balloon Flower does have a knockup, which combos with everything really well, but also halves the cooldown of your next skill, which would be Mech Creation if you're more offensive focused, or Blood Restraint if you're more defensive focused. Now into PvE, we'll do the exact opposite, starting with fairies and making our way back around. We have fire. Fire is just what works in PvE the best. We have give them fire weakness. We have increased damage to weakness. We have attack increase, attack increase. Crystals, we're going full offense because defense doesn't really matter much in PvE. With treasures, the golds and purples don't generally work in PvE, so we're just doing 3 offensive blue treasures. For wills, mantra, and fierce attack, generally this is going to be your go-to if you're in a PvE game mode. You're able to what we call fairy dance, swap your fairies in between. There are some right now, such as Elemental Lord, where you can't fairy dance, where mantra could be a bit worse, and that would change depending on what you're doing. Fierce Stag, very, very good. Sprout of Flower, you need to have at least 3 of your 4 active fairies have Sprout of Flower for it to be worth it. That 4th one obviously gives you more of a damage boost and gives you more room to do your rotations if you want to do, let's say, 4 fairy teams. Down here, Pearl Otter is the best for PvE with the stacking damage increase. Little Flame Dragon is second best, but easier to get from level 2 Forest. Most wanted stats, boss increase, break. You can do break, you can do crit, it doesn't matter. Because you have fire, that's obviously going to do crit itself. We have crit and break there. If we do priest, then we can go crit. If we do the other 2, we would want break, especially if we go shadow owl. That would be pretty good. And then the skills up here are the same I said before, but not having the option of the knockback, because that generally doesn't matter in PvE. Let me know what you guys think down below. Until next time, guys.